Yeah, I was just listening to some of the stuff you were saying, some of the conversations you were having, and just had a quick question. Basically, if, for instance, the Bible has a verse that says, "Lean not unto your own understanding. Your ways are not my ways. Your thoughts are not my thoughts." And the reason why that makes so much sense is because why maybe you can tell me why. Why should anyone lean on to the understanding of a being stuck in three dimensions of space?
Um, well, because
But,
we invented science and have discovered all kinds of things. See
but
that proverb. I really don't like that. Uh, Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
mm-hmm.
That
Well,
means do not
it makes
think for
perfect sense.
yourself. I don't like
No,
that like at all.
no.
Sounds like indoctrinate me, please.
No. What it means is that why you can't lean onto your own understanding as a three dimensional, because you know nothing about the nature of reality. You know nothing about the nature of reality. Nothing.
But we know so many
No, you
things.
don't.
What?
A
I
three dimensional being.
Yeah, we
Hold up.
do. We know what the universal
Hold up.
gravitational
Hold up.
constant is.
Tell me. Let me give you something simple. Tell me what's the true nature of time.
I don't know, but there's a lot
Of
of things
course
we
you
do
don't know,
know.
because you're a three-dimensional being that doesn't have a clue. You don't
So
have
are
a clue
you.
to what time is. Look, the basic
Okay.
simple. Why should I hold up? Let me finish
But
my point.
but
Let me
we
finish my point.
we
Can I
came up with a theory
can
of relativity and
can I
uncovered that time passes differently
no,
depending on
time
how
doesn't.
quickly you're
There's
moving
no
through space
evidence
or
that
how
time
close you are to
passes.
gravitational
Hold up.
anomalies.
There's no time evidence that time passes at all.
Yes. Wait. Hold on. Yes, there
What?
is.
There's no time evidence that time passes at all.
But there
What?
is.
What?
What do you
Look,
mean?
that's let me clue you into something. That's called our perception of time. Our perception
Sure.
of time is not what time is. I was just reading an article now.
Well, then
Most
what
many
is time?
researchers say from the NIST that time is an illusion. But this is the point. The Bible tells us, and this is my whole point. The Bible tells us, that Jesus said, "I'm not of this world." Then the Bible says God is outside our perception of time. And then years later, here comes Einstein. And Einstein says exactly what the Bible says. Einstein says the way we experience time, the distinction between past, present, and future, is a stubbornly persistent illusion.
Where in the
Everything we
Bible
do
did
in
it talk
earth,
about
hold on,
time dilation?
everything we do in our world is based on a distinction between
Well,
time.
hold on,
When
Angel.
you're
It sounds like
born,
you're drawing
can
connections
can,
where there are no connections, though.
can I finish?
Okay.
Sure.
Everything we do is based on the distinction of time being real. He went on to expound on it in relativity. He said, since there exist in four-dimensional structure space time, no longer any sections that represent now, our existence should be seen as four-dimensional space-time instead of the evolution of three-dimensional existence. So your evolution of three-dimensional existence is an illusion. There's not a three-dimensional being on this planet that could tell me what the nature of time
You,
is.
you are
You know why?
extrapolating
Hold up.
things that it doesn't say. You're saying that the Bible said something and then Einstein said
Hold up,
it. The Bible did not talk about anything special relativity
hold
talked
up.
about unless you want to draw vague connections.
No, it
It
talked
didn't talk
exactly what
about
it was
time
talking about.
dilation. It didn't talk
It,
about
it talked about
observers and how
it talked
time is
about
going
the
to be experienced
perception
between
of
a
time
moving versus non-moving
outside of the
observer.
nature of time.
Didn't talk about
The
relativity.
person at the
The Bible said
NIST
nothing about
said
any of that. You're just
said we
saying
don't know
it's
what
the
time
same.
is. You know what? Let me tell you what Einstein's picture of time is. Einstein's picture of time is that in four-dimensional space-time, you can imagine it as a bunch of clocks, and there's a different tick on each one of these clocks. There's a point of four-dimensional space where you got 1960, you got 1970, you got 2022. And so in this four-dimensional space-time, if your being was in this four-dimensional space-time, it could see all of the clocks ticking up from the beginning to end of all times and all events in space-time. But because you're stuck in three dimensions of space, you can only see one tick of the clock in your frame of reference, one moment in time from moment to moment to moment. So
That's
you
all
under the
anybody can
That's
illusion.
see.
I don't
You
think
under
that's
the
true.
illusion. Hold up. You're under the illusion that time is passing because you can't see time in its entirety. You don't
But
even know what the nature of
but
time is.
but
You
that's
only
not
see a
true. We
click
can
in
observe
one moment.
but that's like literally not true because we can observe other people that are in a different frame of reference. Like you
Yeah.
could theoretically well, like time passes differently on the planet Mercury because of how close it is to the
Yeah.
sun. We can observe Mercury and we could observe things going on the planet Mercury, and so
Mhm.
we could observe basically time going at a
But
different rate
you
from
Evening
know
our
that
satellites do
within
it
they
perspective.
hold
every
up,
day.
but within they frame of reference, they experience time exactly how you experience time. It's called proper time and proper length. It's because of
Well,
something called Lorentz transformation. But
they but if they looked at us, they would see us doing things at a different rate. I'm
and
gonna
the,
like to us
but
they would be moving in slow motion. To them, we would be moving in fast motion.
but within your frame of reference, you will
Yeah.
be experience proper time and proper length, and that's because you don't experience time as it is. You have a perception of time. You have a perception, even at the NIST, where they have the atomic clocks at, the NIST says the same thing. Here you go. The scientists back at the NIST, this is how we keep all our global clocks together, precise with atomic time at the NIST.
Hmm.
The scientists back at the NIST are well aware of the problems with time. We are really focused on measuring time, but it's really hard to really find it in any satisfactory way. There's no way for a three-dimensional being to. This is the guy who controls all the time in the world. The atomic clocks
The
telling you
Time
that time.
Master.
They're telling you that time. We don't, as a three-dimensional being, you have no understanding of the nature of time. You don't know what time is. You
We
can't know
do
what
know what
time
time
is
is.
because you're
I
stuck in three dimensions.
Time
That's
is incredibly easy to define.
it's,
We know time
it's,
has passed if
we're
change
literally
has
the ones
occurred.
that invented the concept of
if
it.
time is incredibly easy. Tell me, why did Einstein
I
say
just
the
hold on. I just
hold on.
defined what time
No,
is.
no,
I'm not
no,
saying
no,
time is easy to
uh,
understand, but
no.
it's easy to
Oh
define.
no,
Time is
no, it's not
change or the
easy.
interval over
It's
which
easy
change
to
occurs.
define based on your perception. That's not what it is.
That
Your
is what time
perception
is.
is not reality.
That
Okay,
is
well
what
then
time
what
is.
what
Your
is it then?
perception is not. You are seeing time in a faulty way.
If
That's
something
why
has
Einstein
changed,
called
does that
time
mean
an
time has
illusion.
passed?
That's
Because
why
that is
he's
what
called.
defines
Hold up.
time.
That's why he's called time an illusion. Even Stephen Hawking said you might well consider imaginary time more real than the time that we
He called
experience.
time an illusion because it's different for the
No,
observers.
because it's the way we perceive it. We perceive it from moment to moment to moment. We don't perceive it in four-dimensional space time.
Nobody
We
does.
experience it in three dimensions of space. I mean, what am I talking to people that don't know science? I
I'm
thought
looking
you
at
guys
what you're
who
talking
did
about
you read
now.
Einstein's book Relativity?
Yes, I've read plenty of it.
He
I've
has a
read
book
plenty
called
about it.
Relativity.
Let me go.
It's not
Let me
called
read this.
relativity,
Let
but
me read
yeah,
this
I
quote
know
to
what
you.
he means.
Since there exists in this four-dimensional structure, space-time, no longer any sections that represent now objectively. The concepts of how we come are indeed completely suspended, but yet complicated. It appears therefore more natural to think of reality as four-dimensional existence instead of as hitherto the evolution of three-dimensional existence.
Yes, so
How
space
can you
time.
experience four-dimensional existence?
Space time. That is what fourth dimension is. Space and
You don't
time both
experience
together.
fate. You experience three dimensions. You don't experience the
Wait.
move.
Okay,
How
so
can you move
if you're
in a
out of
That
hold up?
if
place,
we
if you're
When
out of
have
Mitchell,
you
place, are you
hold
gonna
moved
run
on.
out
in
of
a
Let
time?
me
fourth? Hold
let
up.
me
Okay.
talk.
When have you moved in the
If we
direction of the
only
fourth dimension?
experienced our three dimensions of space but no time, then we couldn't move. Nothing could happen.
No, I said you
What do
only
you mean
see.
no?
No, I said no. You only see in the third dimension. You can't move in a fourth dimensional direction. How many people you
We
know
are
can move?
moving in a
How
fourth
many
dimensional
people in the third?
direction. We're
Hold up.
moving
How
in
many
the
people in
direction
the
of
third
time.
dimension?
Time is ticking.
How many people in the third dimension can move in the direction of the fourth dimension?
All of
They
them.
If
can't.
it's time, then all of them.
Time is a temporal dimension. I'm talking about a fourth dimension of space, a fourth dimensional space time.
Time is the fourth dimension.
Oh no, man, you
Look,
guys.
I I'm not
You guys
super
don't.
interested in us banging our heads on the wall and disagreeing about what time is. I'm just
You don't
curious
know
as
what
to like
time
what
is?
the point is.
Hold on,
Well,
the
then
point
neither
is-
do you. So like,
Hold on.
if I can't know what it is, then
Okay.
neither can you, because we're both three-dimensional
Okay,
beings.
well, you admit-
So it's
hold on.
like you're coming here and
No.
admitting you don't know the answer, and then
No.
criticizing me for not
I-
knowing the answer.
Look, my point is this: you have no idea what time. I could go into a myriad of things.
Okay.
I could talk about Godel's theorem. I could talk about de Broglie wavelengths. I could talk about all subatomic particles that don't have any physical existence. I could talk about all these things that science is talking about.
Yes,
but we can start
I-
with time.
Okay.
And simply on the facts of time, why should I listen to a three-dimensional being tell me anything about God or spirit or the nature of reality when you don't simply know what time is? You
Why
don't
should
know
I
what the
listen
nature
to
of
you?
time is.
What? Okay. Why should I listen to you say anything about anything if you don't know what time is?
That's because I'm glad you asked that question. I'm glad we got to that point. My point is this: I'd rather listen to the Bible. I'd rather listen to God. I'd rather listen to God who says, "Come now, let us reason together." I'd rather go to God than to go to some three-dimensional being that can't even tell me what time is. That
Well,
don't
then
even know
leave.
anything.
Like, what
that
the
don't
fuck?
even know about the nature of reality.
What did you
Well, I don't
came
know, Jason.
here?
That's a
You
compliment.
came
He
here
just
and
called
you've
you
been
God.
and you only cite scientific paper. You did quote scripture at the beginning,
Yeah, I did.
but you've been quoting. You are talking to nothing but three-dimensional creatures, and you have quote mined from nothing but three-dimensional creatures.
Yeah, a three-dimensional creatures about what we don't know, and that's exactly why God said, "Lean not to your understanding," because you can't know. You can't know. That's
But
my whole point.
that is what indoctrination
You
is.
can't know. It ain't an indoctrination. It's reality.
No, that is if
I
he's
just
telling you
proved
not to
don't even
trust
know
your
what.
own understanding and
Hello,
your critical
I
thoughts.
just
That is
proved you
indoctrination
have
by
no idea
definition.
you have no idea what the nature of time is. Zero.
And neither do you. Okay,
None.
great.
So why should I listen to you about? That's my point.
Why should I listen to
about
you?
God? Or why should I listen to you about spiritual matters? Why should anybody?
I
listen
don't
to any
talk to
atheist
people about
anything?
spiritual
Hold on.
matters.
Why should anybody listen to any atheist about God or spiritual matters?
Why should anyone listen
when
to
you don't
anything
have
about
a
anything
clue
at
about
this
the
point?
nature of reality?
You don't have
know
a clue about the
anything.
nature of
You
reality,
believe-
so why should
you
I take
believe-
your word on anything?
You believe in magical hybrid creatures in evolution. That's not supported
The hell
by
I
the
do.
Fossil record. You believe in
magic
the
involved.
magical evolution of these hybrid creatures. That
You
nobody
believe in evolution. You've
They're
told
not-
me many times that you believe in
But I
evolution.
don't believe in these ridiculous hybrid creatures you guys believe in.
So
That-
I
that
don't know
make
what you
sense.
mean by that, but I doubt I believe them
hold
either.
on. I don't believe. I don't believe
believe
that
Adam was made from
hold
clay?
on. I don't
No, he
look
doesn't.
At I don't look at the genetic code and think that a primordial soup can encode sequence with information. And then
Yeah, but
build
you're a
machinery
three-dimensional creature that doesn't
to
even
build
understand
machinery
time,
to
so why
decode
should I
that
care
sequence.
what you think?
Why should I accept such nonsense? It's strange credulity.
Okay.
It's strange.
Why
credulity.
should I accept your
But
criticisms when you're just a three-dimensional
Because
creature
it's
that doesn't even
self-evident
understand what
criticism.
time is?
You have no clue about the nature of reality.
Neither
Let
do
me ask
you.
Let me ask you
So
a question.
why should I take any of your
I do-
criticism?
I'm telling you about it now. Let me ask you a question.
What?
Tell
But
me-
you don't
tell-
know
hold on.
anything.
We're three-dimensional
let me
creatures,
ask
bro.
you a
We
question.
can't know.
Angel, you're a
scientists-
three-dimensional creature. There's no
when
you
scientists-
can't tell me anything about
when
reality. You
scientists-
don't have the ability to.
You don't have the ability to. You stuck in.
That's what's going on here. I'm losing my mind.
You don't have the ability to.
Neither do you.
What
Did
are
you not?
talking about?
Do you not get how your arguments work with you too?
No, this is how. Look.
I'm
The
gonna
argument
cry.
is simple. How can a carnally minded being know anything about spiritual matters?
Good job.
I guess they
agree.
don't,
All
which
you
means
depend-
you
hold on.
don't know anything
But
about
all you
spiritual
depend on-
matters.
No, I don't have the same problem as you. I don't
What?
depend on
not a
What? You're a
three-dimensional
three-dimensional creature.
No, I don't depend on your whole world,
Yes, you
your whole
do.
realm of
You're a
knowledge,
three-dimensional creature.
but your
Everything
whole
you do
realm of
depends on
knowledge,
your own interactions
no,
with the
your
universe.
whole realm of knowledge is trapped in, that's why you believe in mystical, magical evolution.
No, I don't. You literally
You,
believe in
you,
God,
you,
and you're telling me
you
that I
believe in,
believe in magic.
hold up,
What do you? What's that?
you believe in the mystical creatures
No, I
can
don't.
No
mystical
mystical
creatures,
creatures.
hybrid creatures
No, I
can
don't.
form.
No mystical
Let me show you
creatures.
what you believe.
You're gonna tell me what I believe? Look, it doesn't matter what you say because you're a three-dimensional creature that doesn't understand
You
reality. So whatever criticisms you have
hold
for
up.
me,
You
you don't
believe
even know what you're talking about.
you believe this genetic code that codes for valine, this
No, I think it came from a
GTT,
three-dimensional
this
being.
GTC, this GTA, and this GTG that code for valine can come out of primordial soup. Now tell me, and since you know so much as a limited three-dimensional being, and this is something that you accept, tell me give me the steps. How, when did nature say I'm going to use redundancy? I'm going to protect information as it's encoded, and then I'm going to code the amino acid valine onto these four sequences: GTT, GTs. How can
How do we get
nature
to this from
encode
time?
sequence them? My whole point is this: you can't tell me anything. You're stuck in Plato's
Neither
cave.
can
Yeah,
you.
the same
Sure, I
has to
can.
apply to you then. The
Sure, I
exact
can.
same
No, it
must
doesn't.
apply to you
I
if
go to
you're
God. I go to
only
source. I
hold
go
on,
to the
Angel.
source
I
of
was
all
letting you
truth.
go. Just let me for just a second.
I
You
go
have
to
to
the
apply
source.
that. Okay,
I
did
go
that
to
was
the
that
source
source
of
written
all
by
truth.
was that resource made by a three-dimensional
Listen,
creature?
I go to the source of all truth,
What
which is
is that?
God.
Which one?
And he's not stuck in space time like
But
you.
you are a
You
three-dimensional
can't.
creature. You can't even understand God.
I can go to God, and I can.
But
God
you
tells.
can't
Hold up.
understand him.
Yeah,
Hold
don't
up.
lean on your
Do
understanding,
you know
Angel.
what?
Angel,
You know what the
you
Bible
don't
says?
understand reality because you're a
The Bible. Hold up.
three-dimensional creature.
The Bible says, "Come now, let us reason
But you
together."
don't understand the
The
Bible. You're a
God of that
three-dimensional creature.
the God that created all things, you don't have nothing to reason with because you don't even know what anything.
Angel, it sounds like you're standing on your own
You don't know
understanding. You're
anything.
leaning on it.
I just proved you don't know
It's in my
anything.
mind.
So why? My whole point is this: why should anybody listen to a carnally minded atheist that's at enmity with
Why should I
God?
listen to you? You have the
That's at
exact same
you know what? You
limitations
know
that
what?
I
Hold up.
do.
You know what enmity means? Enmity means hostile opposition. You're in hostile opposition to a God you claim
No,
doesn't
I'm
exist.
not.
How can you be hostile
Why
against
should
something you don't
anybody
believe in?
hold up?
That doesn't
Why
make
should
sense.
anybody listen to an atheist that's always talking about a God that doesn't exist? They used to put people
That's not.
they
You're
used to
making a
put people in
completely
insane
different point than you
asylums.
made earlier. Your
They
point
used to
earlier
put
was,
people in
I
they
don't
used,
know anything because I'm a three-dimensional being.
you
So are
don't.
you. So you don't know
You don't.
anything.
No, but I'm not in your same boat. I believe in God, the
Yes, you
source
are.
of
You're a
all things.
three-dimensional being.
I
I
believe in
believe in the
chaos,
source
so
of
I'm in a
all
different boat than
things
all you guys.
that knows all things. You're stuck with just what's in the books. So you can't know what's beyond the books.
Where did you
You
get your
You're
info
can't,
stuck.
from?
neither
So,
can you because you're a
yes, I can
three-dimensional
because
being
I
that
can know.
doesn't
Hold on,
understand
because
reality.
I
And
can
the
know about
words in
spiritual
scripture
matters.
are just
Hold
part
on,
of reality, but you can't understand
I can
them.
know about. Hold on, I can know about spiritual matters outside of the physical. For
No,
instance,
you can't. You don't
yes, I
have
can.
special abilities that
Hold
I
on.
don't have.
It comes from the source.
Plus, I can do this.
For instance,
So,
for instance, Stephen Hawking had a lecture
he's a
called Gödel.
three-dimensional being that doesn't
Hold
even
on, I'm gonna
understand
tell you
time
what
or reality. So why
Stephen.
should we
I'm
even
talking
listen to
about.
him? And he was an
I'm talking to you
atheist.
about
How
yourself.
can you
He's an
come in here and be
atheist.
like, you're an atheist? Why should anybody listen to you?
I'm
Also,
talking
let me
about an
give you this quote
atheist.
from this atheist named Stephen Hawking. I'm going to give
Yeah,
you a quote from this atheist named Albert Einstein.
yeah.
Like, what the fuck is
I'm
going
gonna tell you
on?
Let me ask you a question, because you must know. Gödel gave a Stephen Hawking
Another
gave a lecture.
atheist.
He gave a lecture called Gödel and the End of Physics. Why would Stephen Hawking talk about the end of physics?
Why should we listen to Gödel? He's a three-dimensional
Hold
being
on.
that doesn't even understand
Was Steve?
time.
Why did Stephen Hawking? You showing your ignorance. Why was
What?
Stephen Hawking?
I'm
Why
going
was
crazy.
Stephen Hawking?
What is going on?
Go ahead, get your laughter out because You just don't. I know you're
Angel,
laughing because you don't have any clue to what you're talking about.
I'm
you probably don't know what
hyperventilating.
Gödel theorem is. That's why you're laughing.
Angel, it's
Probably
because
don't know
I'm
what
laughing
Gödel
because you're
theorem
being
is.
so inconsistent.
Hold up. Tell me, what is Gödel theorem? And why would Stephen Hawking call it the end
His
of physics?
incompleteness theorem?
Yeah. What is his first incompleteness theorem?
I didn't know there was more than one.
There's two.
I'm not going to be able to say it very eloquently, but basically there will always be like solutions to problems that we fundamentally can't know.
No, that's not it.
I thought that was it. Okay.
You want to try part two?
No.
Why would Stephen Hawking call Gödel's theorem the end of physics?
I don't know, but he doesn't even believe in God, and he's a three-dimensional being who doesn't understand reality. So why should we take the word of an atheist that doesn't even understand reality?
Why I'm quoting it, because he's telling you a truth that if you would take time to listen and would stop, laughing at things because of your ignorance.
That's not what I'm doing.
If you would take the time to learn something, you might get something out of it.
Angel,
learn why.
hold on, Angel. Do you not see what's happening here? He has used your own argument and turned it on you, and you are saying that argument is no longer valid.
How?
You're telling, you criticized my views of reality, of literally everything, on the grounds that, first of all, I'm a three-dimensional being that doesn't even understand time or reality, and second of all, that I'm an atheist. And you've been quoting atheists over and over again, but even if they weren't atheists, everybody's just a three-dimensional being. So the limitations that you have ascribed onto me are the limitations that all of us have, and we can't take anybody's word for anything because nobody can understand time or reality. But it's even worse for the atheists, according to you. But that's what Hawking was, and that's what Einstein was.
Exactly. And it seems
what?
My point is going
exactly.
My point.
So that means stop quoting them.
My point is going way over your head.
No, it's not. No, it's not. God.
As an atheist, you have.
I might start praying. I just
mind.
might, because I don't know what the hell's going on, but I want it to stop.
Hold up. My point is, you simply depend on these things. Therefore, you can't say anything about spiritual matters, or about God.
Then neither can you.
Neither can you.
Of course I can.
Why?
I have a relationship with God. That's how.
You don't know that. You're a three-dimensional being that doesn't understand time and is limited.
That has a relationship with God.
You don't know that.
Hold up. You have no relationship with God. So you're stuck. You're limited to what's written in these books, in science books. And you don't even know that. I asked like 3 or 4 questions about science, and you have no clue as to what you're talking about. You don't even know what you're talking about.
None of us do, because we're all three-dimensional beings.
You don't know simple, basic things. Let me read you Gödel's first completeness theorem.
Actually, I have it pulled up here. So basically, there are statements that are true but cannot be derived from the axioms of the system using its rules of inference. Isn't that what I said? No, I said there are solutions to problems that can't be known. How is that?
No, it's talk. But the reason why Stephen Hawking said it, let me read the official. Any consistent formal system F within which a certain amount of elementary arithmetic can be carried out is incomplete, i.e. there are statements of language of F which can neither be proved or disproved in F. Now, what that means is, Mr. Know-it-all, what that means is that if you have an equation, for instance, like E of MC squared, the equation, what Gödel showed was that there's no truth. That you can't find any truth within that equation. You can't prove the equation.
It has to come from outside the system.
It's unprovable.
Well, no, it's not unprovable. It just has to come from outside the system.
It's unprovable.
No,
that's the whole.
It's provable. It's just that it has to come from outside the system itself.
Yeah, and it has to come from outside. It's not unprovable within the system. There has to be something outside of the system that leads you to truth within the system. So the reason why, and that's something that has to be outside the truth, as Roger Penrose said, has to be, you know who Roger Penrose is?
Yes.
It's something that Roger Penrose said, who actually won the Nobel Peace Prize with
not a Peace Prize in physics.
I mean the Nobel Prize with Stephen
Don't
Hawking
worry about it.
on black holes. But Roger Penrose said, what Gödel showed actually is that, you know, has the thing that's outside of that system that knows the truth about the system is non-computable. It's non-computable. It just has an understanding of the system. So the understanding of the system brings out the truth within the equation. For instance, E equals MC squared. E equals MC squared, there's not any truth in the equation of E equals MC squared. It's unprovable.
In what way?
Within the system itself. But outside of E equals MC squared, a mind that's non-computable can understand E equals MC squared and say, okay, well, if energy can be converted to mass, then maybe I can convert a little bit of this mass into energy. Then they can say, oh, this will cause this sort of big explosion. And if I do a chain reaction, it'll be even a bigger explosion. Oh, now I understand I can put it in a bomb, and then it could become an atomic bomb. What an intelligent mind can do is extract information about reality in a metaphysical way that the physical equations can't. And what Stephen Hawking was saying in his lecture about why he said it's the end of physics, because he always searched for a theory of everything. He said, well, now I understand that I will never find a theory of everything because of Gödel. There will always have to be a search for the truth, because there's no truth. And because what we're doing physically is described by these equations, and there's no truth they can't prove themselves. It's unprovable. There's no truth within these equations. So he said it'd be a never-ending search for the truth of physics. I don't agree with that. That shows is correctly, because right now we're trying to go outside of the universe to try to explain the universe. Is it a universe inside every black hole? Is there 10 to 500 false vacuum on string theory? Is it a holographic duality? Is it the page curve coming out of the singularity of a black hole? They're trying to explain the universe, the existence of the universe outside of the universe, because this is exactly what Gödel said. When Gödel came along, mathematicians thought that they would know everything within the equations because it would be complete.
Hold on. But that's what you're doing, Angel.
To show that they're unprovable. It takes a metaphysical understanding of these equations and of reality to understand the universe.
Angel, that is what you're doing.
It's not in the equations themselves.
Wait, so Angel, that's what you are doing, though, not the physicist. You are trying to. Wait, hold on. I just let you talk for like 5 minutes. Just let me go for a second. You are saying that physicists are trying to reach outside the universe for answers about inside the universe. Mm-hmm. No, they're not. That's what you're doing. That's why you're saying there's some kind of agency, some conscious mind, some God. Science is not saying there's anything outside the universe, or if that even makes sense. We only talk about what we have data to work with. You were doing the exact opposite of that. You were trying to put some
hold up. Where's the string theory landscape?
String hypothesis. There is no way to
hold up. No. You made a statement and you're lying. Where's the string theory landscape? Is it inside the universe?
Hold on. What statement did I make?
Hold up.
What statement did I make?
Hold up. Is the string theory landscape inside the universe or outside of the universe?
What does that even mean?
I'm asking you, do you know what the string theory landscape is? Tell me what is the string theory landscape?
I'm a three-dimensional being. I don't know. You're going to have to let me know.
You have no clue. So,
neither do you.
This is what makes me so mad about atheists.
Angel, I asked you what it means. Nothing. Angel, I didn't tell you what it means.
About
Angel,
nothing.
Hold on. Stop for just a second. I asked you what it means.
How ignorant are you guys? You don't know anything.
I'm asking you to clarify, and you're getting upset. Clarify your statement. Don't just call me dumb. Because
let me ask you again. What is the string theory landscape?
How does that answer?
Why do scientists you made a statement that scientists never go outside of the universe to try to explain the universe? What is the string theory landscape? How does it explain the universe? Okay. Well, when scientists say that our universe is the result of a black hole that collapsed in the fourth dimension, the higher
No,
dimension.
no,
Where's that?
no. That's not even close to right. No.
You haven't read the
You saying
Scientific
that's what
American
string
research?
theory is?
Do I have to pull up the research?
Yeah, show me.
Do you guys read any research?
Yeah, show me the research.
Any research?
Show it to me. Let's see it.
Okay, I'll show it to you. Hold up.
The string theory landscape refers to the collection of possible false vacua in string theory, together comprising a collective landscape of choices of parameters governing compactifications.
You want me to tell you what that means? What that means is what they're trying to do. They're trying to explain what you call what's called the constants of nature, the fine tuning of the universe. So what they're saying is that these false vacua, each of these false vacua are different vacuum states of different universes. So our universe will be one and they say it's 10 to the power of 500 false vacua in the string theory landscape. So our universe to them will be one vacuum, one false vacuum within this landscape. There will be many false vacua within this landscape. And so they basically trying to say we're rolling dice. But what they haven't been able to find in all the equations when they do these equations is a universe that looks anything like ours. Now let me find this research real quick.
Sure.
So they're at what point? But we were talking about whether or not they try to pull on information from outside this universe, and what you just described isn't that. Imagining that there could be other universes isn't trying to pull on information from those other universes.
Yes,
but like Globe was saying, that is exactly what you do, because you claim that there's this God that's outside of space and time and gives you the information.
You can't have our universes if you didn't have this 10 to 500 false vacua from these other universes. It wouldn't make any sense to have a landscape if it wasn't pulling information from other universes. If you didn't
maybe that's what the theory says, but maybe the theory isn't true.
We also don't even have a way to test string theory.
It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It matters is that a Globe man said scientists haven't been going outside of the universe to explain the universe.
Because it's impossible. It's not possible to do.
And we don't.
Which isn't true. Let me find this other research. You guys don't read any research. It's wonder you guys.
Why would I? All that research is composed by three-dimensional beings that are atheists and don't even understand time.
It's no surprise you guys are stuck in Plato's cave like that. You don't read anything.
I think you don't understand.
It's like you think you have magical powers that I don't.
Let me find this research. Hold up.
Okay. I want you to make sure that it specifically says they are trying to pull information from outside of the universe and not just some vague quote that you can say and interpret the way you want. I want it to specifically say what you said it says.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go after this. My eyeballs hurt from staring at my ring light.
All good.
Oh, how cold is it gonna get tonight? What? That's cold.
Someone said morning from the UK. Imagine being in somewhere other than America, the freest country ever. We have free.
Imagine not being American. Fucking losers. You're gonna have baked beans and an overcooked sausage for breakfast. Meanwhile, here, I'm gonna kill a hog and eat it 10 different ways and wash it down with a Budweiser.
The only way to do it.
I'm gonna eat ammo and guns for breakfast, 'cause I got freedom! What was I gonna look up?
I don't know. Something about string theory, maybe.
No, I was I always forget. Yeah. Martin Van Buren. That's keep forgetting. Angel, are we?
Yeah,
Do we got it
go.
yet? All right.
Here you go. Scientific American. So you can see it from Scientific American.
Sure. What is the paper's name?
It's got the black hole that birthed the Big Bang. Is the Big Bang and all that came from it a holographic mirage from another dimension? Uh-oh. Here you go. In his allegory in the cave, Greek philosopher Plato described prisoners who had spent. That's amazing. I just mentioned Plato's cave, and it described prisoners that lived their entire lives chained to the wall of a dark cavern. Behind the prisoners lies. Well, I don't need to go over Plato's cave, unless you don't know what Plato's cave is. I'm sure you know what Plato's cave is.
Yeah, I'm more so looking at the problems that this is presenting. I pulled up the article.
Their shackles have prevented them from perceiving a true world, a realm with one additional dimension to the world that they know, a dimension rich with complexity, unbeknownst to the prisoners, unbeknownst, capable of explaining all they see, and all that they see. The universe appears to us to exist in 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time. A geometry refers to 3-dimensional universe. Just what I'm saying, what I've been saying. I didn't even know that in our scenario, this 3-dimensional universe.
Yes, we're all very proud of you.
Let me finish. You asked for it. Here it goes. In our scenario, this 3-dimensional universe is merely the shadow of a world that has 4 spatial dimensions. Specifically, our entire universe came into being during stellar implosion in this supra universe, an implosion that created a 3-dimensional shell and a 4-dimensional black hole. A universe is that our universe is that shell. Boom.
Okay.
That hold up. That's just one. But you asked your what you said, Glow Man, was a lie. Just a minute was a lie. You said there's no scientists.
Hold on.
You said there's no scientists.
Hold on. So this is what I said. You said they pull information from outside the universe.
Yes, from a universe from a 4th dimensional space.
That is not a different
It's a black
universe.
hole that collapsed in a 4th
that's not a different universe.
We can live in the 4th dimension. We are currently going through the 4th dimension.
No. What they're saying is that our universe is the result. Did you just read what I just said?
I'm literally looking at the
article. The result of a black hole collapsing in the 4th dimension. So when the let me explain to you what they're saying. When a black hole collapses in the 3rd dimension in our universe, the event horizon is 2-dimensional. It's a 2-dimensional event horizon that forms on the thing. So when the black hole forms in the 4th dimension of space, the event horizon of that black hole will be 3-dimensional. That's why they're saying that our universe is a holographic projection of a higher dimensional universe in a higher dimensional space, something that's not part of our universe, but is a result of the collapse of a black hole in a higher dimensional universe.
But Angel,
now, I just told you too about string theory and the false vacuum, and now about black holes in higher dimensions. And I can go to even more. If you
haven't proven
Angel,
you just go to the
in this
theory
paper,
of parallel universes.
Angel,
I'm not talking about level 1 parallel universes.
Angel,
parallel universes have to be outside of our universe, and they have to be in a way that we can't interact with them, but they have to be connected to our universe. So that
Angel,
every time
the authors of this paper specifically say, like in this paragraph right here, there's a second reason that our 4-dimensional universe is worth thinking about. They're not talking about more than one universe. They're talking about we exist in a 3-dimensional space within a 4-dimensional universe. That 3-dimensional space we exist in is part of a singular universe. They're not pulling on information from outside the universe.
Because that's impossible.
You're muted. I didn't mute you. I don't know what's going on, so we'll wait a little bit. But then, oh God, I'm so exhausted.
Why did they call it the super universe? You guys don't read no research. Why I gotta come in here all the time and bring up all this research that you guys know nothing about? Do you guys read anything?
This is your source.
Do you guys read anything?
The authors of the paper don't. They say that it's a 4-dimensional universe. They're not saying that there are other universes that they are pulling information out of.
How can our universe not be pulling information if it's a shadow of a higher dimensional universe? The shadow is getting all this information.
The information is coming from within this universe, but just perhaps from a realm that we can't access. But it's still part of this universe.
Realize how
dimensions are not planes of existence. A dimension is not a universe.
Realize how silly you sound. Explain to the audience how 4-dimensional space is in 3-dimensional universe. Explain that.
I'm sorry.
Hold on. This is what you're saying. Think about how ignorant you sound.
Are you going to let anyone answer? Talking. Are you gonna let anyone answer the question?
No, man. I'm asking him a question. Just quit interrupting.
Then stop asking.
You're saying that.
Finish the question.
You're saying that. I want you to explain to the audience. Make this make sense to the people listening. All of your people, your atheists following you. Make it make sense. You said it's the same universe. Tell me how a 4th dimension of space exists in 3 dimensions.
That's not how it works. The 3 dimensions exist within the 4th dimensional universe. That's what the paper. That's what the authors of this paper say. And this isn't my opinion. I'm just telling you what the paper says that you brought up.
Supporting what I'm saying, and Glowman is wrong again.
No.
Yet again.
No.
Okay, why can't you
said that we pull on information from external universes. We don't do that, but you do claim to do that because you say you know God who doesn't exist in this universe.
Why can't you guys ever admit that you're just wrong?
Because you're saying things actually okay, Angel.
Why can't you do it?
Angel, you've talked over me a lot, so I'm going to say this now. Dimension does not equal universe. Okay, the 4th dimension is time. If you've ever been at a place, you've been there at a time. That is space-time. I don't understand.
But that is not the theory that we're talking about in this paper. They're talking about
that is exactly what they say.
They're talking about an additional 4th dimension of space, not space-time. So it would be 4 spatial dimensions and 1 extra dimension of time. 4 spatial dimensions.
It's a 4-dimensional universe.
In this 4th spatial dimension, it would be a collapse of a black hole.
The 4th dimension is
a shadow of the high.
Dude,
Angel,
every time
we are all taking a timeout. This all got started.
I gotta go through this.
This all got started because you accused us of pulling in information from outside the universe. We don't do that. You brought up this paper that describes that maybe we live in a 4-dimensional universe, but we only interact with 3 of those dimensions. But that's not scientists claiming that there's another universe that we pull information out of. But the critical point, the original criticism from Glowman was that you do what you accuse us of because you claim to have a personal relationship with God who is outside of this universe.
Yeah, exactly. Just like this 4th dimension.
Okay, exactly.
Space. But the point is, what you're saying is it's a 4th dimension of space. The 3 dimension, it has to be pulling information from the 4th because it's a shadow of this 4th dimensional space.
That's the opinion of the people that wrote this paper. It's not my opinion. I don't have an opinion on this.
Let me read it to you again. The universe appears to us to exist in 3 dimensions of space and 1 of time, a geometry that we refer to as 3-dimensional universe.
We said that.
Hold up. In our scenario,
Glowman said, and you said that's wrong.
Let me just finish what it's saying. In our scenario, this 3-dimensional universe is merely the shadow of a world that has a 4-dimensional spatial dimensions. Specifically, our entire universe came into being. Our entire universe. What does came into being mean?
It means you take a can of beans and you do an unspeakable act to it.
What does came into being mean? When it says, hold up, it says
I just told you.
Specifically, our entire universe came into being? Where did our universe? How did our universe come into being in this four-dimensional? We're not full of information.
I don't know.
Of course you don't know.
Has the answer.
Neither do you. So what the hell's the point? You coming here and telling me what I don't know it's also what you don't know. So what? Wow, you're so stupid. You don't even know this. Do you know it? No, but I'm pointing out that you don't know it.
It's two things that's amazing. One, we can't have really a serious conversation about these things because when you guys don't know something, all you do is laugh. Because you're trying to hide.
I'm not laughing at that.
Because you're trying to hide your ignorance.
No, I'm not.
Secondly,
God.
Have we all been here for the same
since I've been on this live, you didn't know about time. You don't know about Gödel's theorem.
Neither do you. You don't know anything about time. You're a three-dimensional creature.
I feel like I'm a professor. I think you need to cash at me some money because it's like every time I talk to you, I have to explain it to you like I'm explaining to a new student in class.
We literally both pulled up your source.
Time I talk
Angel,
to you guys,
Angel. We both pulled up your source and found out your source disagrees with the claim you're making.
Aren't you a teacher?
Angel, are you missing this main point? Angel, hear me out. Angel, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. I want you to read your source from start to finish. Just read it one time from start to finish. Because it contradicts exactly what you are claiming.
It doesn't contradict anything, Glow.
You've never read it.
You didn't even know what. You don't even know what string theory landscape is. I asked you.
I never.
It's like 4 or 5. You have no clue. You don't know. You don't.
Yeah, we never claimed it. So what? Do you know about how? Do you know about the phosphorylation of adenosine triphosphate in the what do you call that? The neocortex. Do you know about that?
Yeah, I know about higher dimensions in the neocortex.
No. I asked you if you know about the phosphorylation of adenosine triphosphate within the neocortex.
And why is that important to what we're talking about?
Because if you don't know that, then you don't understand anything.
No, that has nothing to do with Gödel's theorem. That has nothing to do.
It has everything to do with it.
No, because none of what you said can. How can anything you said be provable? In light of Gödel's theorem. That's why your own atheist said.
So you don't know anything about the phosphorylation of adenosine triphosphate within the neocortex. So why should I even listen to you? You're so ignorant. I have to teach you about basic biology every single time that you come in here.
How is that provable? According to
how is the phosphorylation of adenosine triphosphate in the neocortex provable?
Yeah. Tell me how is that provable in light of Gödel's theorem?
Why would it be in light of Gödel's theorem?
I'm asking you a question. Don't laugh. You always laugh. Tell me how it's provable within Gödel's theorem.
It has nothing to do with Gödel's theorem.
That's exactly why I brought up Stephen Hawking's lecture. Why do you think I brought up Stephen Hawking's lecture? It has everything to do with it.
No, it doesn't.
My goodness, you guys here don't. You guys, did you read Stephen Hawking's lecture?
I've read.
No.
I gave you the quote.
I don't.
I gave you the thing. Did you read
He's an atheist. You said earlier that we shouldn't listen to atheists.
He's an atheist that's talking about the end of physics.
So what? He's an atheist. He doesn't know anything. And also, he's a three-dimensional creature that doesn't even understand time.
Don't you want to know why atheist is talking about the end of physics in relation to Gödel's theorem?
No, I don't care.
Of course you don't want to know. Because you want to remain ignorant.
What is your point? What is the point of any of this? To call us wrong and you right? Yeah. What is the point? What is your end goal of tonight's conversation?
Yeah, anybody who want to read the article itself is on Scientific American.
But it was written by atheists who don't know anything.
All you have to do is type in the black hole that birthed the Big Bang.
It was written by atheists who don't know anything.
To see how ridiculous Globe Man is, who doesn't even know what a string theory landscape is.
I never claimed that.
All you gotta
do. And you don't know about the phosphorylation of adenosine diphosphate is what I should have said in the neocortex. You don't know anything because that's literally what makes your brain function.
But the point is, I got to get ready to roll out of here. But the point is, I hope everybody in the audience do their own research and realize you don't need to listen to an atheist when it comes to anything.
Then don't read the paper written by atheists. How are you still doing this?
Listen.
Oh my God! What?
When it comes,
Angel,
don't come to TikTok and listen to atheists. Instead, read papers written by atheists. What the fuck is going on?
Do you not see the contradiction, Angel? Like, in all honesty, do you not see the contradiction?
I see no contradiction.
How? Maybe this conversation isn't worth having if you can't even see that.
I said, don't listen to atheists when it comes to God and spiritual matters. Why should you listen to atheists when they don't know anything about the nature
Why
of their
are you
own
listening
reality?
to them if they don't know anything?
Why listen to them?
Why? They don't know anything.
Why are you quote mining from papers written by atheists then?
Because science discovers what God creates. The only source of all truth is God, who says, "Come, let us reason together."
Then go to God and stop reading scientific papers written by atheists.
Scientific papers just confirm what says in the Bible. The Bible says, for instance, in the Bible it says the universe is held together by the word of his power. But atheists would say that the universe is some sort of independent physical reality. There's no evidence of a universe that exists as some sort of physical reality.
How can science back the Bible if you're not supposed to lean on your understanding? That doesn't make sense.
Let me ask you a question that confirms the Bible. What are subatomic particles?
We're not allowed to lean on our understanding.
Hold on. What are subatomic particles?
We're not allowed to lean on our understanding, so it doesn't matter.
I'm asking you a question, Glow, man. You claim to know so much. In quantum field theory,
God.
How does quantum field theory describe subatomic particles?
I don't know.
Nobody knows because we can't lean on our own understanding.
According to the Bible.
Let me tell you real quick and show you real quick this last thing. This is what Werner Heisenberg said.
He's an atheist.
No, he wasn't. He said, I think that
maybe he wasn't. I don't know, actually.
He said, I think that modern physics has definitely decided in favor of Plato. Here goes Plato again. In fact, the smallest units of matter are not physical objects in the ordinary sense. They are forms, ideas which can be expressed unambiguously through mathematical language. The atoms or elementary particles themselves are not real. They form a world of potentialities or possibilities rather than ones of things of facts. And I'll give you one more. Max Planck, Planck's constant. As a man who has devoted his whole life to the most clear-headed science, to the study of matter, I can tell you the result of my research about the atoms this much. There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particles of an atom to vibration. We must assume behind the force of the existence of conscience, an intelligent mind. The mind is the matrix of all matter. Then you have two recent studies.
Oh, God, please stop.
You have two recent studies.
No, I don't care about the recent studies anymore. By the way, I was dead wrong. Heisenberg was a Christian, so for the record.
No evidence for particles. Here go another recent study.
No evidence for particles? What the fuck is this thing made of?
They're only fields. So I asked.
Okay, well then that's what particles are.
I asked the geniuses again. What does quantum field theory call subatomic particles?
I don't know. You tell me. Let's see.
I mean, you guys are supposed to know everything. Why do
I never claimed to know anything.
None of us claimed to know everything. You claim to have a personal relationship with the arbiter of the entire freaking universe. And then you come in here and ask us about all these esoteric terms and then make fun of us for not knowing about them when you don't even know about the phosphorylation of adenosine diphosphate in the neocortex.
Why do you have to keep explaining these simple things to you guys?
This is simple. Like the nature of reality?
Here's a simple question.
We had to check your source for you.
What do you mean? What is quantum field? How does quantum field theory describe subatomic particles? This is a simple question.
I just told you.
That's a simple question?
Yes. You do know what quantum field theory is, don't you?
There's 9 people on Earth who actually know what it is. There are some people who have heard of it before.
No, quantum field theory is one of the most accurate theories in science, where they have experiments, observations that match predictions to like 12 decimal places. Some of the most accurate predictions in physics. And all I'm asking is, what does quantum field theory call a subatomic particle? If
literally the question has been answered 4 times. Just say it.
Okay.
I don't know the answer. Tell me what you think it is.
If a
Stop
subatomic
asking.
particle is the building block of all matter,
that's what Peterson just said like 5 seconds ago.
Oh goodness, man! I'm just.
Dude, you are.
Here's a quote from Richard Feynman. I can safely say that nobody understands quantum mechanics. That's a quote from Richard Feynman.
Because at the time, Richard Feynman was just forming many of the things that go along with quantum field theory when he said this. But it's been years since Richard Feynman came up with many of these things, like his Feynman diagrams and things like that. God. But it's been many years since he came up with those things, and people have a better grasp of what they are saying, especially about particles. That's why you have published papers like "No Evidence for Particles." There are no particles, only fields. So you have Werner Heisenberg.
Then that's what particles are. If particles are fields, then that's what they are.
And you can literally make a cloud chamber, and you can see subatomic particles' effects on the cloud.
Man, I got it. I feel like I'm a professor.
You don't know much for a professor.
I'm teaching first.
I feel like I'm being tortured.
I'm teaching first-year students that don't even read the books. Dude, about basic science.
Own source for you, and it didn't agree with you.
Look at all these books. Look at all these books. I've read all of them, except for the ones on the very bottom.
My goodness. I didn't went over.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
I didn't went over. My goodness. All I'm saying is,
you don't even know how. You don't know anything about the phosphorylation of adenosine diphosphate, which is like basic biology.
You're a carnally minded atheist. You're stuck in Plato's cave. I think you just seen a perfect example of that tonight.
I think you're stuck in Plato's cave. Let's just that on you.
You just seen two guys that's totally incurious about the world. Have you read the book According to 100 Years of Nobel Prize? For 100 years of Nobel Prizes? Have you read that book?
I, along with everybody on planet Earth, have read far less than 1/100th of 1% of all of the books that there are.
I just asked you a question. Have you ever read that book, 100 Years of Nobel Prizes?
No.
Oh, okay. 65% of Nobel Prize laureates as identified as Christians.
Oh, what?
Overall, Christians have won a total of 78.3% of all Nobel Prizes in peace, 72.5% in chemistry.
Oh, that is
5.3% in physics, 62% in medicine, 54% in economics, and 49.5% in literature.
So you know what?
You know how many awards atheists won? Atheists and agnostics.
Secular Jews have won something like 25% of all the Nobel Prizes in physics and science.
Atheists and agnostics are the most incurious people on this planet.
That's literally untrue. Angel, for the love of your God, saying atheists are the most uncurious people on the planet. This entire thing began with you quoting scripture that says, lean not on your own understanding. Exactly. You could not have said a more hypocritical thing than what you just said.
And I showed you why you should lean on the understanding of a three-dimensional being, because they don't know anything. They're incurious.
That's what you are. You don't know anything.
You just seen by Planet Peterson and Globe, man. They don't have a clue. I didn't mention like
neither do you. You're a three-dimensional being.
And they don't have a clue. And that's because
three-dimensional beings don't understand reality. Angel Lives Matter is a three-dimensional being. Angel Lives Matter doesn't understand reality.
Have you read the recent research about the brain having 11 dimensional
Your name's not Angel Lives Matter. Why did I say
that?
Oh,
about 11 dimensional structures in the brain?
They're three-dimensional beings. Those are the people giving you that info. Therefore, you do not trust them.
Have you read the information about because you said you
who wrote the paper? Who wrote the paper? Angel, who wrote the paper?
I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. Angel, please never change. Never, ever, ever change. Well, stop being so fucking mean, but please don't ever change. Oh.
so many contradictions left and right, and he didn't notice any of them. I've never seen that before.
I can't do it anymore. I don't know how long that went on for, but it just couldn't. I don't want to do it anymore.
It came around full circle at the end, right back.
Yes, yes. Atheists are the most incurious people, and it all began with a quote: "Lean not on your own understanding." That couldn't have been more. I could not have been more hypocritical at the very end there.
Someone asked how much longer I'm going to be in here. I think Peterson's getting ready to end it, so not long.
I should have ended it a while ago, but whatever. I'm gonna go take a shower and then maybe play video games for a little while and then go to bed. God.
You got to just go tell everyone they can't understand anything because they're 3-dimensional and haven't done narcotics.
Yeah. And haven't taken hallucinogenics. Yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah, so the band thing didn't work, and so I don't have access to that video. So from a couple of days ago on Monday. I mean, I'm so mad about that.
For it a little bit. It seemed like you might be able to get some clips.
Maybe. Cam and the beans. Yeah, what did he say about beans? And then
oh yeah. He said, what does came into being mean? And you
what does came into being mean? It was like, well,
you do unspeakable acts with a can of beans. That was what you said.
Yeah, basically.
That was good.
Oh, everything hurts. Oh, I knew it's never not just unbelievably entertaining when Angel's here. So when I saw him, I was like, get ready. All right.
Yeah. Seems to be pretty much the same thing every time. Look at all these quotes I found.
Yeah, sort of. We've had chill conversations before, but that
that
was just too much contradiction there. All right, I need to go. Thank you everybody for being here. And I don't know what else to say. I may have I didn't do a podcast this week because I was gone all weekend, but I'll definitely have one coming out next week. Perhaps 2 of them. My next one's going to be about the entire history of the how we discovered atoms. And none of it, you won't be able to, well, none of it's going to be true because I'm a 3-dimensional being. But, if you want to listen to it, whatever.
It's mostly going to be untrue, though, because you're an atheist. Mostly.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me in. That was, I don't want to say fun. I don't know if that's the right word.
Yeah. All right.
Have a good one.
You too. All right. Peeps, I'm gonna look at the comment section for a little while if anybody had anything they wanted to say or ask really quick. I believe in the Fibonacci sequence. Well, it exists, so not onto your own understanding. In a way, science does not lean on your own understanding because the only way for science to work is if it's networked, and many people are doing it. So, in the sense that I believe the best way to objectively reach whatever the truth is, then we should have a depersonalized, unbiased, secular approach. And that's where you're sort of not leaning on your own understanding because the process is designed to remove your own bias, but that's not what that proverb actually means. So